Imagine waking up one morning to find that the price of gasoline has skyrocketed, and you're not sure how you're going to fill up your tank to get to work. This is a reality that could be facing many people in the United States and around the world, as a perfect storm of events is brewing in the oil market. The recent conflict in the Middle East has disrupted the flow of oil, and the effects are starting to be felt. But what's really going on, and how is it going to affect you? Let's start with the basics. Oil is the lifeblood of the global economy. It's not just what you put in your car, it's what powers the factories, the farms, and the transportation systems that bring goods to your doorstep. And right now, there's a big problem. The Strait of Hormuz, which is a critical waterway in the Middle East, has been shut down. This means that a significant portion of the world's oil supply is not making it to market. Now you might be thinking, but wait, isn't the United States a net exporter of oil? Well, that's a common misconception. While it's true that the United States produces a lot of oil, it still imports more oil than it exports. In fact, the United States imports approximately 6.3 million barrels of oil per day and exports around 4.1 million barrels per day. That means that the United States is still a net importer of oil, to the tune of around 2.2 million barrels per day. So, what does this mean for the average person? Well, it means that the price of oil is going to go up, and that's going to have a ripple effect throughout the economy. You're going to see higher prices at the pump, and that's just the beginning. The price of food, the price of goods, and even the price of services are all going to be affected by the increase in oil prices. And it's not just the United States that's going to be affected. This is a global problem. Now you might be wondering, why is this happening? Why is the price of oil going up so much? Well, it's because of a combination of factors. The conflict in the Middle East has disrupted the supply of oil, and that's driving up prices. But it's not just that. There's also a problem with the way that oil is traded. You see, there are two different prices for oil. There's the paper price, which is the price that you see on the news, and then there's the physical price, which is the price that it actually costs to buy and deliver oil. And right now, those two prices are very far apart. The paper price of oil is around $100 per barrel, but the physical price is more like $130 per barrel. That's a difference of $30 per barrel, which is a huge spread. And this spread is being driven by the fact that the people who need oil right now are willing to pay whatever it takes to get it. But the paper market is still pretending that everything is fine, and that's why you're seeing this big disconnect between the two prices. So, what does this mean for the future? Well, it's hard to say for sure, but one thing is certain. The price of oil is going to continue to be volatile, and that's going to have a big impact on the global economy. The International Monetary Fund is warning of a worldwide recession if the conflict in the Middle East doesn't end soon. And that's not just a warning, that's a very real possibility. The effects of this oil shortage are already being felt, and it's only going to get worse if something isn't done to address the problem. Now, I know that this all sounds very dire, but it's not all bad news. There are things that can be done to mitigate the effects of the oil shortage. For example, countries can start to stockpile oil, and they can also start to develop alternative sources of energy. And individuals can start to make changes in their own lives, such as driving more fuel-efficient cars or using public transportation. It's not going to be easy, but it's possible to make a difference. In conclusion, the oil shortage is a very real problem, and it's going to have a big impact on the global economy. But it's not just a problem, it's also an opportunity. An opportunity for countries to come together and find new solutions, and for individuals to make a difference in their own lives. So let's stay informed, let's stay vigilant, and let's work together to address this problem. The future is uncertain, but one thing is for sure, the world is going to be a very different place in the coming months and years.